Hey family, let me take y'all on a little journey. Today, I want to talk about a sound that shook the world. A sound that came out of sweat, struggle, and celebration of black and brown folks who needed a space to breathe free. I'm talking about house music. Now, when you hear house today, you might think about the big festivals, the flashing lights, the DJs from Europe packing out arenas. But before all that, before it became global, house was homegrown. It was a heartbeat born in Chicago, in the black community, in the clubs where outsiders found refuge. Let's set the scene. In the late 1970s, disco, which had been our baby, was under attack. You remember that disco demolition night in 1979? That wasn't just about music, family. That was about race, about sexuality, about fear of the culture we had built. Disco was a space for black folks, Latinos, women, LGBT, and sisters to come alive. And when it got too powerful, too visible, well, you know how the story goes. But see, you can ban it from radio, you can mock it in the media, but you can't kill the groove. Out of the ashes, house music rose. In Chicago in the early 80s, there was a club called The Warehouse, and that's where the name house came from. The Warehouse was more than a nightclub. It was a sanctuary run by Frankie Knuckles, a brother born in the Bronx who moved out to Chicago with a record bag full of magic. Frankie was a DJ, but he really was a preacher. He took disco, funk, soul, gospel, even some rock records and stitched them together with drum machines and reel-to-reel tape edits. He gave the people a service every night, and the dance floor was his church. Now, what made house different wasn't just the records Frankie was spinning, it was the way he manipulated them. See, technology had just opened some new doors. You had the Roland TR-808, the TR-909 drum machines, the TB-303 bass synth. Cheap gear back then, but powerful. Frankie started blending live mixes with drum machine loops and editing grooves, stripping tracks down from the raw rhythm. That result was hypnotic, driving, and spiritual, a pulse that could go all night long. And the crowd, whew! The Warehouse pulled in black folks, Puerto Ricans, gays, straights, drag queens, working class cats who just needed a release. It was one of the few places in the city where you could be your whole self and not hide it. And that dance floor, nobody cared who you loved, what you looked like. Only thing that mattered was, could you feel the beat? Could you let go? That, family, is the true spirit of house. It wasn't just music, it was freedom. It was liberation in 4/4 time. Gospel without the pulpit. Therapy without the judgment. By the mid-1980s, the sound was spreading. Young producers like Jesse Saunders, Chip E., Marshall Jefferson, they took that Warehouse vibe and pressed it into vinyl. Jesse Saunders' track On and On in 1984, that's often called the very first house record. And when Marshall Jefferson dropped Move Your Body in 1986, the so-called house music anthem, it was official. The world had a new genre on its hands. But here's the thing, while house went on to conquer Europe and became a billion-dollar industry, never forget its roots. House was born out of black Chicago, out of the marginalized communities building joy in the middle of hardship, out of the DJs who refused to let the music die when the mainstream turned its back on us. And let me tell you, house carried our DNA. Listen close to all you hear in the gospel chords, the disco strings, the funk bass lines. You'll hear the echoes of Sunday morning service, Saturday night juke joints, and the voices of our ancestors saying, keep on moving. Even today, whether you're at a festival in Berlin, a party in Detroit, when that beat drops, it connects you back to something bigger. House is spiritual music dressed up for the dance floor, community disguised as rhythm. So when you hear folks talking about house, don't just think of it as some electronic trend. Remember that it started as a sanctuary. Family, music always tells the truth about us, and house's truth is simple. We will always find a way to create joy, even in the face of rejection. We will always build spaces to love one another when the world tries to tear us down. That's the story of house, and that's why it'll never die. Stay blessed, keep grooving, and next time you hear that steady 4 on the floor beat, remember, you're dancing in the footsteps of a revolution.